What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, Freddie Fox, America's big brother, and today I got the pleasure of sitting down with Dylan Smith. What's going on, my man?
How we doing? Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. How's everything going, man?
Good.
Good. So I'm so happy to sit down with you. I'm looking forward to it because I know this is your first time being interviewed for a podcast, right? So
Yes.
Thank you for giving me that honor. And then after this, we're gonna be on Dylan's show, which is D is for Dyslexia and
Defying all odds.
Defying all odds. That's what's up, man. So we're gonna do that after this one, man. So thank you so much for sitting down with me. And I know because we talked about it before on the phones, and then you let me know that you listened to a couple of my episodes and stuff. So you already have an idea of what the show is about and where we're going from. And we definitely had an interesting conversation, about your background and growing up in your life and coming up, which I'm very, very eager to get into that. So for the people who are new listeners who haven't heard the show and stuff like that, it's pretty much just trying to help the younger generation guide them on the right path. I know there's a lot of nowadays a lack of positive role models that are out there and really helping the generation guide them into the right path. And by speaking to different men and finding out what their different views of being a good man and their motivation, their morals, their ideologies, and what they're doing in their own lives to help motivate and push them for a new direction and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little background, man, because as I listened to the last episode and you're talking about going to school and having to deal with computers and COVID and stuff like that, you're only 20 years old, right?
I am.
And that is so amazing because already at such a young age, man, you know and have a good idea where you want to go with your life, and you're taking control of that. And your story that you told us about now with this tech company that you were at, man, and just give a little viewers what you just told me about this tech company and what you did on your first couple of days there, man.
I worked at a small tech company back. I got hired 2020 in July 2020, and the CEO came in and he goes, "Hey, I'm the owner. My name is blank." And he goes, "You're an intern. You're here for 3 months. You're here for 3 days a week. After that, you're gone. Summer only. That's it." I said, "Thank you so much. In the most respectful way possible." That's not happening. I'll be here 5 days a week. I'll be here before you are. I'll be closing up. So if you could you please leave a key on my desk and you don't have to pay me at all? And I said, "Let's make a deal. If you like what I do in this next 3 months, you keep me and we make this internship into a career. If not, 3 months, I'm okay with it."
And that's crazy to think, man, that, just at 20 years old to have that mindset. Because, like you was telling us, that the main thing that you're looking for is making connections, right, man, and really developing that stuff. And a lot of young ones are looking, already chasing the money. We're adapting, kind of trained that and just music videos and things that we see on TV. It's about money, cars, women, and all those things. And that's what we try to strive to be. But to get those things, we need to make the right connections and know the right people. And then those things will come, and really, first off, finding out what we really want to do with our lives, instead of just you can take a high paying job and be miserable and hate it every single day. And you'll have the money and you'll be able to flaunt and get all those things and stuff like that, but you'll be absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
But when you find something that you enjoy doing, that you love with a passion, you're doing it right, it's not work. It's not work. You love doing it, and the money will come. It'll come. You just got to be patient and really put in the effort. I mean, it's like we was talking about these TikTok people and all this stuff like that, and doing just the most random things, but they're having fun and they're making bank.
Too much money. No such thing, but too much money.
Yeah, man, they're making bank, but they love what they're doing. They're not working at all. They're enjoying life, and that's what that's why God or the powers that be or whatever, we're here on this earth to enjoy life. We're not meant to work in 9 to 5 and be miserable and be breaking our back, stuff like that. Like, there's so much this world and life has to offer us. We should be taking part and enjoying those things as much as we possibly can. You know what I mean?
Of course. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that settles hard with me.
Exactly. And that, like you said, telling the CEO like that, like, you're going to work hard, you're going to bust your ass to do what you got to do, and you did it. You know what I mean? Like, and they see that and like I told you before, like we were saying outside before we got in here, if you do more than what you're paid for, soon you'll be paid for more than what you do. You know what I mean? So, you just got to drive and not be afraid to get your hands dirty and put in that work, because it'll all pay off. You know what I mean? It just takes some time, but it'll all pay off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, man, and that was just a little background so that we get the people to see, the type of mindset that you have, because I'm really, really huge believer, and I've been doing a lot of studying about mindset and how that impacts all our lives. And we have the right mindset. There is nothing that we can't do.
No.
And that's like I just told you too. Like, you know, when and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, as you guys know, is that we are only bound to the boundaries we create in our own mind. We set our own limitations. And when you set a limit of whatever you say, whatever you believe, or whatever you think you can do, if you say I can't, your whole everything around you starts to work to prove you right. Your mind doesn't want to make you a liar. So if you think you can't do something, your mind will put into work and all these efforts that why you can't do that thing, or why you're unable to do something. So we got to make sure we're always speaking positive, and really promoting ourselves 24/7, because see, that's the main way we're going to be successful and achieve the things that we want to achieve in this life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as you know, and I guess getting into this with the questions and stuff like that, like what I've tried to figure out for everybody here. So for you, what are the characteristics or qualities you think make up a good man or a good person, Dylan?
I think a good man and good person is well-rounded. You know, looks out for those who need to be looked out for, takes care of the people who can't take care of themselves. And I mean, I honestly don't judge anybody. Like, if I use the word weird as an example, like my definition of weird won't match up with anybody else's, so I don't judge either. So I feel like we all have a lot of potential and we're capable of great things. And I will never not sit with somebody at a table. I will never not start a conversation with somebody. I will never not, you know, ask them about their t-shirt or ask them about what they do, or comment on, oh, I like your shoes, have a beautiful day. Because I mean, I pass it on to 5 people. I always talk to 5 new people a day, and I make them all smile. So, I mean, if I can go, let me pump your gas for you, you don't have to stand at the car. Or, your shoes are great, awesome, have a great day. Or, your smile's worth $1 million, you're a ray of sunshine. That, in my head, it's like, not only is that networking at its finest, it's like, oh, I can make a connection. And then, you know, I bumped into Carl and I said, talk to me about your t-shirt. And then here I am on a podcast writing a book with Royal. So it's like, if somebody was having a bad morning, now I've fixed their morning and they're going to have a great day. If they're having a good day, I've solidified the good day. And if somebody's just out of it, now they're having a good day and they have a smile, and maybe they'll pass it on. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, smiles per gallon in my car. If we can make people smile and feel good and know that, hey, you're not alone, we're all here, we need that, and especially in today, because there's a lot of negativity. So, absolutely. You know, if somebody can't, I was the kind of guy to, like, if you can't run across the finish line, you're going across on my back. So I think we support those who need it.
No, and it's so important to do those things because you don't know what anybody's going through at any point in their time. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what people are going through. So telling them, hey, you have a beautiful smile, or you look great today, or stuff like that, that can mean so much to the right person, and you will not even know it. You know, like a perfect example, like a couple days ago, you know, I was just I get into these moments of like just random depression and stuff, and I was feeling really down. I know how we've grown up and our lives takes us in different paths and stuff, but you know, I miss my core friends a lot. You know, I know I don't talk to them often. We don't see each other often. We're kind of scattered all over the place. And a lot of times that starts making me think to myself, like, hey, do they not want to be around me for some reason? Or just all these self-doubt things that come into my head, and I become my own worst enemy. And I was just really feeling, again, just horrible about the whole thing. One morning, I look at my phone and I get a voicemail. I fell asleep early one day. I'm usually up to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like every day. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's just the insomnia and just my mind running and all those things that don't allow me to sleep. But I passed out really, really early, and one of my closest friends called me up. Mish, shout out Big Mish. You know, I love you, Bonner. That's my twin. You know, I've known him since the first grade, man. We've been friends for 30 years. You know, it's like, I guess my longest term friend. You know, we have these things, like I said, like if we don't pick up the phone, we just go on these rants and just insult each other and just all those things. So he started off like that too, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you know, when I call, you got to pick up and stuff. But and then he says, you know, the reason I called you because I was going through a lot of these things. I was going through a rough time today, and I started thinking about you, and I started smiling, man. I was like, you know, I got to call him up, see how he's doing, because you brought some happiness to my life just thinking about you, you know, and you know, and I told him the next morning, I heard that voicemail, and I teared up, man. I'm not even going to lie, you know what I mean? I got emotional because I was going through something, you know what I mean? And then I told him, I was like, bro, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that, man. Like, you have no idea what that meant to me and how special that voicemail is. I know how we, you know, rag each other. I haven't deleted it. I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just when I want to go back and listen to it. But that means the world to me, because I know, again, like, we're all over the place and we're trying to do a million and one different things, and like I tell him all the time too, we have that type of friendship. We can go months, weeks, days without seeing each other, but when we link up, like, it's like nothing ever changed. We'll have conversation, we just get lost, and it's just such an incredible bond that we have. And it was important to hear that. So when you say people and you see like that, you don't know what people are going through. People may need that boost of confidence and that those words of love to help motivate them or get them through their day, or maybe talk them out of doing something stupid. You never know. So like, and that's why I love doing this podcast and why I want to do this, because just like I love sitting down with people. I love learning from people and hearing their stories and what they're about. I'm intrigued by people. People intrigue me. You know what I mean? Like, because you're so different, you're so unique, you know what I mean? Like, and I just want to know, out of curiosity, to help myself grow, because as we learn from each other, we all grow. We can take bits and pieces from each other to help create ourselves into the person that we want to be. And that's, like I said, like talking to you and everybody else, getting these pointers and stuff like that, so that we can help grow and develop ourselves into being a unique or even a better person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as far as like those, like you said, being well-rounded, as being something like that, being a good man, what are some of your most important morals that you carry on for yourself on a day-to-day basis?
I have a notebook in my office, and if I make a mistake or I learned something or I did something and I figured out how to do it, or I did something I know I didn't do the correct way, I write it down in a notebook, but I don't read it. And then I work through my entire day and write down this notebook. And at the end of the day, I close it up, come to the office 15, 30 minutes early and read the notebook. And now I'm sitting here and I'm going, how can I implement these in today's Dylan, right? So every day to me is a new day. I don't know who did it. I don't know who gave it to me, but somebody gifted it to me. So I'm not going to sleep in. I'm not going to waste a second. I wasn't given 24 hours to my knowledge. I was given this moment. So if I can be a 5% better every day, I can be 25% better me every week, and then hopefully unrecognizable by the end of the month, and just be learning and, more intelligent, more well-rounded. And, 5 people a day, that's 25 people a week that have smiled and are more intelligent and feel better just because I talked to them for 2 seconds.
No, absolutely, man. So that's crazy. That's something that I know a lot of, listening to a lot of books and stuff, and reading is definitely writing things down and seeing, things that you're grateful for, or things that you've done, that you enjoy, or people that you talk to and stuff. Because also when you write something down, I feel like like they always say, which is true, it sticks with you more. You know what I mean? You're putting a lot more effort into trying. Cause we always say that too, like, I'm gonna remember that for later, and then 2 seconds later, you completely forgot what you were thinking.
Exactly.
About. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you write it down, it becomes real. It's something that's like, it's here and you can see it, and it gets back to you in your face. So I think that's very, very unique thing that you do there, writing things down, and just, again, it's constant self-development. And that's something that we have to do every single day. Try to make ourselves better than the day before. Continue to grow and develop it, and you don't know where it's gonna come from.
No.
So we definitely got to write things down and figure things out for ourselves, and really keep working on being better. And moving on to, because I really, it was intrigued. I'm waiting to get to the show to get into this, because it's all about too also just being, how a relationship with our fathers and how that impacts, and having a impactful and a positive male role model in your life. So as you were telling me before here, which is crazy, is that I guess
I've had 5 parents.
Yeah, you have 5 parents, but at the beginning, like you said, you were just left in Russia, right? That's where you're originally from?
Yep, me and my twin were left in a hotel room in Moscow, Russia, and we were taken care of by babushkas, which is a grandmother for Russian, and they were just taking care of the hotel and took care of us, and then brought us to a orphanage. And then, crazy enough, a month ago, I asked my brother, I was like, I'm starting to be able to see, we were only 2.5, but I was like, I'm starting to be able to see the orphanage. Like, I never was able to know anything about it. And now, like, 1 week, it's like, oh, I can see the room we slept in. Oh, I can see the room, how they fed us. I know what the playground looks like. And I'm starting to remember, like, you fought for your food, and it was like 0 to 5 years old in this orphanage. Whoever got your food first ate. 5-year-olds owned it. So they do 3-4 portions, and there's us 2-year-olds who can't fight for ourselves. You don't eat. Whoever makes it to their bed first sleeps there. Whoever gets a pillow first uses it. Whoever's got a blanket gets it. It's kind of like fending for yourself, and I'm just starting to remember that, like, every day. I don't know why. This last month, I'm starting to remember that kind of stuff. So, like, to go from that to where we are now, it's really humbling, and to always be able to flashback. I have a very photographic memory, so I can see it. And then we were adopted 2003, 2.5 years old by, I don't think she's human, but my mom, and she's amazing. Raised, like, her father raised her the right way for sure. You know, she did go across the country to take us, and, you know, I was in the hospital dying with who knows almost every disease because I wasn't fed, I wasn't taken care of the right way. All we ate was porridge, which is basically oatmeal just sitting in water too long. And she was going for my brother, and then she got there. They said, he's got a twin, but he's in the hospital. You can take one if you only want one. And she said, no, I'll take them both on the spot. And she was there, and she raised us, and we had an alcoholic father from, 2.5 to, I want to say, second grade. Didn't go to a baseball game, didn't go to baseball practice, wasn't there, was always drunk, opened up a bar, drank all the profits, was never there, and disappeared. Threw all the collateral on our mom, and just, that was it. So he wasn't there, and when he was, it wasn't a good sight. And our grandfather really stepped in. He really stepped up. He's a man I look and strive to be. Like, his nickname is Nice Guy Larry, so he was definitely, he's the one who went, nope, this isn't happening, and he raised us for when, we didn't have a father there. So really instrumental there. I would do anything for him, and I'm really grinding out to take care of him. I want to take care of him because I want to take care of those who took care of us. I honestly do.
Yeah.
So, like, he was there when we needed him, and then some. And I'll never forget, like, it was elementary school, 4th grade. Every Friday morning, they had father and son breakfasts. So you get bagels and stuff from the cafeteria, but fathers and son would walk in, and we always went, me and my brother, we just sat there. My brother was an emotional kid, so he'd just sit there and, doze off into the ceiling. I remember, like, looking over, and I'd see all the fathers and sons, and I'd just start crying. And then one day, I came home and shared with my mom how upset I was. And we were in Connecticut, and my grandfather was in Vermont, because we grew up in Vermont and then moved because my mom got a nursing job. Mm-hmm. My mom always really, really worked to provide for us, whatever she did. She's like her absolute, like definition of a real-life superhero. And I remember sharing with her one Friday, like, hey, I'm very upset. Like, told her how I felt. Like, I want a dad. Every time I saw a friend's dad or a dad interacting with my mom, oh, is this my dad? Is this my dad? And then I'll never forget that next week, we went to the father and son bagel morning. And we're just sitting there doing the same thing, and I'm just staring at all the dads. And I look over into the right corner, and the door's opening up. I'm like, oh, no, dad's walking in. It's my grandfather, all the way from Vermont. Woke up at 4 a.m. to come to Connecticut, and he had bagels with us. And I'll never forget that because that was an instrumental moment. Because it speaks a lot on his character. It's like, oh, he's upset. Yeah, I'm coming from Vermont. We'll be there next week. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to drive up Friday morning at 3 a.m., so I'm there for that breakfast. And he left. He literally left that Saturday afternoon night because he had stuff to do. But he wanted to be there for that breakfast. So it spoke volumes. So he's amazing. And then 7th grade, our dad came into our life, and he really did everything. He education, sports, showed us what a man's supposed to be, how he's supposed to act, how he's supposed to treat people, and that's the trio. My pappy, my mom, my dad. They show you what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to act, how you respect people. We did wrestling because it was very it was a sport that taught you a lot of life lessons. Mm-hmm. Work hard, stay in it, teamwork, but you're really on the map by yourself. Like, it was crazy, and it was cool that somebody was always there and didn't give up. My brother explained it as every time we had a parent, it was a commercial. Felt like a commercial, right? So you have a parent, it's a commercial, and then it's over, and it's like, oh, what now? What? Who's next? And we told our dad the other day, it's like, you're an infomercial. My brother's, he's like, I'm scared that it's gonna end. So let's make this the TV show. Like, I don't want you to be an infomercial. So he's like, yeah, no, I'm here.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And big ups to your pappy on that. Going to that drive-in, and our grandfathers are very, very special, man. My dad's dad, man, it was just we had a very big bond. So much so that I got his name right here tattooed.
Oh,
his
awesome.
His name was Goyo. No, I don't really talk about this or just put it out there because it's I don't know. I guess like going out and seeing like racism and all this stuff and growing up, you kind of like play sides and all these things. So believe it, or not, my dad is white with green eyes. He's Puerto Rican, but he's white with green eyes, and I have a lot of features with him. He's my biological father, um, and of course his side of the family is very light skinned, and my mom's side of the family is very dark.
Yeah.
And it just so happens too that my sister is very light skinned, and I'm on the opposite of the spectrum. So a lot of people will just confuse us. I'm either like her kid or her husband or all these things, But people get shocked when they find out that we're biological siblings, like we're 100% siblings. And my grandfather on my dad's side, I just always felt like a huge bond with him more than anybody else in his family, and my grandmother to his mom too. Like my aunts and my aunts, my dad had a bunch of sisters. Like I knew that they loved me because I'm their nephew, but I don't know, it just felt a little awkward or maybe it's like a little forced. Because my mom's side of the family, we're just extremely affectionate. Like we're aggressively affectionate. It is crazy. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's how I know and how I receive love. But my dad's side of the family isn't like that at all. Except for my grandfather, and he was just an amazing man. Like I would go over there and I loved spending time with him. Like he would put up the hammock because I loved being in the hammock, and we would just sit in the hammock underneath the trees and rock for hours, or be on the porch in his rocking chairs, and I would sit next to him, and everybody that walked by, like, look at my grandson, like look at my and you're just so proud of me, and just such an amazing man. Like again, so much so that I had to like idolize him some which way or some form, because he just meant that much to me. So your pappy and those things, little things that they do, does go a long way, and you see those things. As far as like you said with your dad who came in and started showing you all these things about sports and all the stuff like that. And it seems like you have a really, really great relationship with him.
Yeah, very close.
And I'm very eager to listen to that episode of him, man. Like I said, I know it's coming out soon, so I'm really looking forward to listening to that one and things that you talked about with him, to see that side of him. But growing up with him and seeing those things, what is something that you learned from him, or that you take, that you really that carries with you on a day-to-day basis?
He refers to us as his clan/pack, right? So that's not light. It's not, I'm your dad. It's not, oh, we're a family. It's like, no, you're part of my pack. You're part of my clan. And what he does all the time is I don't understand it because I don't do it nearly as much as he does. I'm not raising a family. I'm not taking care of a dog, 5 kids, a wife, a house. And he's very high up in the company he works for. And I'm bottom of the barrel at the tech company. And I'm just starting this. And, I barely have time for the gym. And he always has times for everything, and I'm always so astonished. And I ask him all the time, like, how the math to me don't add up. I've literally less than half, like quarter of what you have to do, and I don't have enough time in the day for it. So it's like, yeah, I make time, not excuses. So I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, I get shit done. Like it's like I want to be a mixture of my mom, dad, and pappy. Like if I can do anything to impress them and make them proud, and look what he's doing, look where he's come from, look where he is now, look where he's going. It's that's the goal. And the other day when he came in and he saw what I've built, and I make jokes at him, poke fun, because he's a vice president of the company he works for, and I'm the CEO of Dyslexia, and I was like, yeah, you're the CEO. I'm the running this right now. Like you have me and your connection, just joking with him because we joke all the time. And, he looked at me at the end and he was like, to say that I'm proud of you would be an understatement. And he goes, to say that you exceeded all my expectations would be a lie. You jumped all of our expectations. And he teared up a couple of times during it. And I was like, wow, he's never really affectionate, but for him to get affectionate like that, it really showed a lot. So it was a big accomplishment for me to say that and portray the way he felt, and his how proud he was of what I've done and where I'm going.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, and like he said, I think that's so important, and a great lesson that he says too is I make time, not excuses.
Yeah.
That's very important, because again, it's so easy to come up with an excuse, and it's really hard to be there, and that's one of the things with my kids too. Like I have Everybody knows I got a little girl, a little boy, and I wouldn't miss anything that they have to do for anything in the world. Like,
No.
I mean, I refuse. There's nobody's gonna tell me I can or whatever. Like that, I miss something for my kids is not gonna happen. It's not. Like you said, I'm not making any excuses. I will make the time, whatever I need to do to be there for them 24/7. And that is a big thing when it comes to being a dad. And my dad, like I said, I mean, he was in the house and he didn't come to any of my shows, any of those things and stuff. He was constantly working. But my dad taught me a couple of things, and one of the biggest lessons, that I hold so dear from my dad, which was crazy because as I was telling you, I have a middle brother. He has a different mom. And he would come over, he lived in Puerto Rico with his mom, and he would come over like over the summers to spend time with us and spend time over here. And I would always want to, like, you see what your dad does, you kind of want to follow in his footsteps. My dad's a mechanic,
Exactly.
so my dad's a mechanic, and he's great with cars, best mechanic I've ever seen. And my brother would come and he would go with my brother to the garage and stuff like that and teach him and work on cars, but he would never teach me. As much as I would beg him, like, he was like, no, I'm not, like, you're not coming, you're not gonna learn. And like, even when I'm there trying to like learn stuff, he would like send me off and all these things. And it got to the point one time when I got so frustrated, and I called him out. I'm like, yo, why won't you do this? Like, why won't you teach me to be a mechanic? Like, I'm trying to be like, what is your problem? And he calmly looked me in my face and he said, listen, you're going to make money with your brain, not your hands. I don't want this life for you. Look how dirty I am. Look at these blisters. Look at the cold, I'm saying that the calluses on my hands. This is not what I want for you. And that was a huge enlightening for me because, and then I started to understand, like he sees me 24/7. I live with him. My brother doesn't. And that's their way to bond. That's for them. They learn to do that and that's how they connect. And that's his way of being there for him. But how he said that, like, you're going to make money with your brain, not your hands. And that sparked the entrepreneur hustler in me. Like no other, man. Like back in the day when he had the Nextel phones, I learned, like I was telling you before, like I didn't take no or like not for an answer. Like I learned how to make custom ringtones for the Nextel. I said that was something to do. So I started a business out of it. I used to have people sitting in my living room come with like CDs, like, listen, I want this song as a ringtone and stuff like that. And I would charge them 5, 10, so, I'm saying like 20 for like 5 songs. And I was making money that way, and when again, like that evolved from there and Netflix started, and you got like the CD, I would like order a CD, a DVD, I would burn a master copy, send it back, and then burn a master copy, send it back. So I would burn those DVDs and I would start selling DVDs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I was constantly doing something and hustling and really using my brain to make money. And when I started this podcast, I started it because, my dad taught me that I did my very first episode on his birthday as a tribute to him. Because again, I'm going to make money with my brain. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. And a couple weeks ago, I was supposed to work on my car and I kind of canceled him. I said, listen, Dad, I got to go to this event because it's going to be big for my show and I'm trying to make connection and all these things. And that's when I met Bobby Valentine and I was able to get him for the show and everything. And the next day I told my dad about it. My dad called me up. He called me up and he said, hey, how did it go? And I told him, I said, listen, I got Bobby Valentine. It's going to be great, this, that, or whatever. And he said, I'm so happy. I'm saying, you got to do what you got to do to make your career happen. And the fact that he referred to this as my career was an amazing, just compliment from his behalf. And just like, really was like, man, I'm making my dad proud, and that's something that as men ourselves, we want to make our dads proud, and I'm sure that's something that you want to do and you're definitely doing. And I know that just had to be very emotional. That's why I want to listen to that, just to hear that interaction with him and you and stuff, because, you did it, you're showing him, that you can do anything and really, really kind of going above what everybody expected would become of you. Again, being coming from Russia, from an orphanage, being abandoned at such a young age and left to die in the hospital. And now you're thriving, you know what I'm saying? Like you're thriving and like you're showing, man, defying all the odds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're really defying all the odds. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. I mean, it's hard, right? Because, biggest thing that's that with me is I got three younger sisters and a twin brother. That's 5 kids. Everybody but me was an honor student. Everyone but me was only allowed to have a 90, and that was their low grade on a test, and they did. Lowest they're allowed to do is 90. Your ground hit something else. Out of all 5 kids, I was the only one that didn't have that. I'd get 40s on tests. Do homework, but I was literally chin in the water and nose about to touch in regards to grades and education, and it was hard, right? It's like I'm the stupid one. I'm the black sheep. And like then for my dad to say that to me, it's like, yeah, that wasn't for you. Education isn't for you. It's like some people are good at education, some people are good at life. Right? So he's like, I hope that like you can learn something from your siblings and they can learn something from you. It's like, during high school I had 3 jobs. I was a delivery boy for pizza. I worked for Grubhub. I was also a waiter for the restaurant who did Grubhub, and I also worked as a busboy at a wedding venue. And all the experience, because I knew I wasn't going to college. I was like, I got to make as many connections as I can. If it's restaurants for the next couple of years, it's restaurants for the next couple of years. That's how it's going to be, right? So, did that, got the internship. I go, I don't want to go back to restaurants. I'm going to make this happen. And then, I'm on a trip with the new CEO of the firm I work for now. He's like, by the way, the CEO that you used to work for, he called me and said, I should pick you up. And that's how this happened. I was like, what? So people notice things like that. And I mean, the biggest thing to me is leave that impression, an unforgettable, positive, hardworking impression. Because one day some CEO is going to be like, where's that Dylan kid? Like, I'm going to give him an offer letter, or what's he doing? And look me up and be like, oh, I'll never forget it. Always leave that unforgettable impression. Hardest working in the room. Will out-hustle anybody. Definitely. Knows how to work with people. Knows how to make them smile. You put that all together and,
It's rare to find all those talents in one person, man. So it's great that you develop those and continue to exercise those and really, really flourish. And like you were saying too, I know you weren't doing so great in school and all that stuff. And with your show, like you said, that D is for Dyslexia and Defying All Odds, as you've openly said, you currently go with battle dyslexia or cope with it. I don't want to be insensitive. I don't know how it's the politically correct way to address it. You know what I mean? But you have dyslexia, and so for the people who are trying to understand, like, how would you explain dyslexia to somebody who doesn't understand?
So, it can be overwhelming. So for me, dyslexia is, you open up a textbook in social studies, right? Bunch of little words, immediately overwhelmed. And then you're staring at it, and then chunks of sentences grab themselves, and they drift from a page to another page. It's crazy. Then chunks from this side start doing this, and they're flip-flopping. And then the letters inside the sentences are flip-flopping. When you get overwhelmed and overworked like that. And you sit there, and now you're dizzy. Teacher's like, hey, Dylan, read for the class. It's like, well, I don't want to see my lunch. It's hard to describe, and it's like, now it's the intro of the Jetsons on my social studies page. And it's hard, but, I've always looked at that like, oh, I got to figure this out, right? There's not a path if there's not a path I can follow, I got to grab a shovel and start digging my own path. So, coming into school early, working with the teachers before class, throwing my lunches away, working with teachers during lunch, asking my gym teacher if I can skip and go study for a test or go work with a teacher. I always said yes. Stay after. Show them that I care. Show them I'm trying. So, I got 40s all through high school and middle school, not knowing how to read, but yet I was awarded all the academic awards. Like all these smart, like valedictorian, all those awards, I'm in those ceremonies and I'm getting an award. And everybody's looking at me like, what? Why is he here? What? Like, and all teachers, and I remember my high school counselor, her episode comes out soon. She's next. She's like, I'm not worried about you. I'm actually worried about those honor students who don't study and get 90s on tests. And I was like, what? Why? You should be worried about why you. She's like, because they don't know how to work for it. You got to know how to work for something. And then one day I was down in the dumps and I walked in and I was like, I'm dropping out. I'm joining the Army. She's like, you have a very entrepreneurial mind. And I was like, what? You're crazy. And I walked out. And then to have her on the show come full circle, she got teary-eyed. She got worked up. She was like, wow. And my overall goal is to be able to talk to kids on a stage, be a speaker. And she was so brought him back. She's like, I'm going to get you on the stage. You're going to speak it to your own school. Like, really? She's like, yeah, we're going to make it happen. And then today I look on Facebook, my page on Facebook, my old high school teacher, one of the mentors. Hey, I see what you're doing. I love it. I showed all your old teachers. They all comment, love this, love us, keep it going. And it's like, wow, like, I'm the stupid. I was known as the stupid kid with 40s, but I got all the awards. Teachers are going to make it happen so I can speak at a school, a dream of mine.
Yeah. That's a bit of like you said. I mean, people will doubt, and you just got to show them and put in the effort and put in the hard work. And when it, like it says, for people with dyslexia and stuff like that, I know you had to learn and carve your own path. I mean, what are some things or tips or things that help you manage when it comes to reading and all those things? Like, how do you deal with that?
You know, you take it slow. You know, you take everything slow. What I usually do is have a paper on the entire page, and you read sentence by sentence. Because if you read a book, you can read it, not no idea what happened. You got to do it sentence by sentence, understand what the sentence means, and then keep following. Right? So, I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice in anything you do to make it happen. So I had to throw, the first step I did was May of freshman year. My dad looked at me, he goes, hey, we got me evaluated. I'm officially dyslexic as a freshman. And he brought me to this tutor doing Orton Gillingham, which is a program meant for it. And you draw the ABCs in like sand and shaving cream, and in the air you use weighted pencils. So you learn literally the ABCs, and I'm a 16-year-old kid in high school. It's May. Fridays after school. I just got my license. My friends got their licenses. Where are they going? They're going to house parties. They're going to boat parties. They're jumping on jet skis. They're grabbing dinner. I'm driving to my tutor. On a Friday night or on a Saturday morning. And I'm running the ABCs in shaving cream.
You gotta hustle, right?
Yeah. So, like, and me being called the stupid kid my entire educational career, it's like, oh, maybe I am. I came back after that summer. Somebody said I got offended. I was like, no, I've got more to offer. Watch. Huh? Watch. I got more to offer.
Now, when you, like I said, I don't know if everybody was like teasing you and going on. So was it when you were 16 when you first were actually diagnosed? Like, did you not know anything before then?
Did not. And my dad was astonished. He was like, how do you not know how many letters are in the alphabet? How'd you not know how to read? But you got from kindergarten to freshman year and through it all. He was just like, because I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, why are you sorry? I'm astonished. He's like, the math doesn't add up to me. He's like, I don't know how you got through. And I was like, simple. Let the teachers know that you're trying. Go early, stay late.
Now, when you finally got the diagnosis, did you like feel relieved that you knew that something was going on, or were you like bummed out, or like how did that make you feel?
Work to do now. There's work to do. All right, we figured out what it is. What's the next step? All right, this is the next step. Let's do it. Anything. I looked at my dad. He goes, are you willing to do a tutor all summer? 2 days, 3 days a week. I said, looked him in the eyes and go, I'm willing to do absolutely anything just to make this easier. And he's like, okay.
Good. I mean, you got to put in the work, and people see that. I mean, it's recently I was listening to Chris Bosch's induction speech when he was into the Hall of Fame, and he brought up this really, really interesting story, about Kobe, which Kobe was like, just spoke fun of it ahead of this commercial, man, but he was a different animal in the same beast all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he Bosch said to himself, it was like it was the Olympics and stuff, and he was like, I want to be the first person at breakfast. So he set his alarm, he got up early and stuff like that. He was over there, and he got to the breakfast room, and Kobe was already there, dripping in sweat with ice on his knees. So not only was he the first person at breakfast, he already worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it was just that type of grind. Why Kobe's Kobe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that mentality, and we have to really embody, like we say, that Mamba mentality and all that stuff, that put on that hard work, because like he said too, like Kobe was talking about his work ethic. He'd wake up 4 a.m., go practice. You know what I mean? And get ready to come back, have breakfast, chill. In the afternoon, go practice again, have lunch, does X, Y, and Z, go to the gym again for practice. So he's practicing 3 times a day, while most people are just going once or twice. So that's why he was just leaps and bounds. So by the time, like, people, in the same amount of time, he, like 4 years, he was already, like, 10 years beyond everybody else because of his work ethic and how much he was putting in the effort and stuff. And then that's a beautiful mentality that you have right now and that you're going through, is really going out there and out hustling and out working and doing that, and not letting this be a disability. You know what I mean? Like, not letting it hold you back and really making it work for you. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful thing that you're doing with your podcast and really going on and making it happen for yourself. What do you think is for you is your main source of motivation?
You know, I'm highly insecure that I didn't go to college. So I want to be able to, I have a brother who wants to be a PA. I've got friends who want to be doctors, and they're going to school. They want to be lawyers. I want to be able to, when everybody gets out of school and starts a career, I'm either way ahead or I'm right next to them. And it not be a realistic, like, he didn't go to college, it's obvious. It'd be, no, he's educated, he knows what he's doing. So it's like a motivation and insecurity at the same time of, I am smart, I am capable, and I will show you that I'm capable and smart, right? And I see my friends partying and stuff, right? My friends are partying Saturday night. I'm in here, I'm being interviewed at you, I'm going to interview you. I'm going to go home, work on my book. It's a different completely. And when people's perspective changed on me, I lost a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, I don't mess with them.
And what do you mean like that? Was their perspective changed about you? Like, so from what to what?
So I've always been like, I say it, I do it. I told everybody I'm going to buy a new car before I'm 21. Just bought a 2021 Toyota Corolla hatch. Put wheels and a spoiler on it. And a lot of kids are like, no, you're not. I rolled up in it. Perspective changed. I'm going to make a production deal, do a whole podcast, write a book and promote it. Connect with celebrities. Talk to motivational speakers, movements, impact, change, inspire, create. No. Ad goes out, made a deal with Carl. A lot more people go, no, I don't mess with him. Ad goes out with Jaleel. I don't mess with him. I'm going on Freddie Fox's show. I don't mess with him. And it's like, great. God saw conversations that I didn't. So I'm like, you don't mess with me, that's okay. I don't judge anybody. I love everybody the same. If you want to hang out, I'll hang out.
Right.
You want to be fake? Great. Like, if you want to hang out, you want advice? Great. I won't fall. I won't fall to that. But I'll totally be open-minded. You have questions, of course. You want to hang out? Yeah, but I'll be on my toes about it. Oh, there's got to be something coming here. But, I'm not one to usually say no, or one to usually be like, well, no, you don't mess with me. I wouldn't do that.
No, and two things that just came to mind as you said that, and there's another, I'm big on quotes or just a holistic of self-development and stuff, but it goes, you lose a lot of friends when you get serious about your life. That's why God only has 2 seats and a bus has 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the people who are meant there for you, they'll be there, and like you said too, not changing your character. And I'm one like that too. A lot of people may have done me wrong and stuff. I don't hold grudges against anybody.
No.
I can't do that. I used to do that, and it's pointless, because I always say like this, it's unnecessary baggage you're gonna carry. Like, for what? But I also, like I tell everybody, every moment you spend unhappy or miserable or sad or just, resentful or any of those things is a moment of happiness you're never going to get back. And I'm trying to keep all my moments of happiness. So I'm not trying to deal with any of that nonsense, So I'm not going to change myself or anything like that. But it reminds me of this story, right? Of this man. He comes across this snake that's in a fire, right? And he reaches in to try to grab the snake to save it for the fire, and it bites him. And some guy's watching him, and the guy goes again. He goes to grab the snake to try to save him, and it bites him yet again. And he finally goes and he gets it, and he throws it out of the fire, and the snake slithers off and stuff. And somebody watching him, looks at him, is like, the snake bit you twice. Like, why are you going to keep trying to help it? It's like, it's a snake's nature to bite. It's my nature to help. I'm not going to let his nature change mine.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people are going to talk junk or say things that really come at you differently and try to break you or change your character, but stay true to who you are. Be you, be Dylan, be who you want to be. Because as we've seen, man, this world is huge. It's huge. There's billions upon billions of people in this world. And you're going to tell me that a couple of thousand aren't going to like you? You know what I mean? Like, you're bound to find those people, but you got to stay true to heart to allow those people to find you. I'm listening to this book right now because for myself, I hate reading.
I do too.
I hate reading. You can hear that in comment, but because it's like that too, man. I'm trying to read and I can't focus. Like it's hard for me to focus on the lines and the writings and stuff like that. It's a pain. I could have to read the same page multiple times to try to understand what I just read.
Yeah.
So I'm big on audiobooks. I love audiobooks. So I'm listening to this one now. It's called Karma, a Yogi's Guide to Creating Your Own Destiny. And he talks about this term called, hopefully I'm saying it right, but it's called guasana, which means scent or smell, right? Everybody has a certain smell or a scent, right? And it's not talking about an odor specifically, but like he says, like a flower has a certain scent, right? And attracts the bees to it. It doesn't go anywhere, but it attracts all these things to it because of its smell. And that's the same thing as us as people. We all carry a certain guasana, a certain smell that attracts other people like us to us. We just got to be real to it. Like, you can go into a room of hundreds of people, and because of who you are and your certain scent, those people who are like you, who are more similar to you, will gravitate towards you, or you will find them easily because you're admitting that. And then that's all about being true to yourself, being real, and being, honest. Because that we've seen that we can smell bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, we know when people are being fake or being phony and trying to get something off us. And just like that too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to knock them, but my radars are up and I'm just, extra careful, but doesn't mean I won't help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or I won't, do something to help you because that's just my nature, So that's just part of who we are and what we need to do and really staying true to ourselves and everything. And I know, like you said, going through, with dyslexia and going through all stuff in school, and especially your journey from Russia to here and all these things. And up until now, in your life, up until this point, what do you think has been the hardest part of your journey?
Wow. Hardest part of my journey. I don't think I feel like I don't have an answer for that, because I don't ever look down on a challenge. I look at them as learning opportunities. So, like, I'm diagnosed with dyslexia. I get to go to work today. I get to come to the studio. I get to be on a podcast. I get to film a podcast. I have the ability to go to this tutor every day this summer. You know why? Somebody's always got it worse. Someone always has it worse. So I never dwell on, well, that was hard. Like, I don't know. I don't know I can deal with anything else bigger. Heck yeah, I can. You know why? I have a car. I have a job. I have a house that I live in. I have food that goes into my stomach. And I've got all these other luxuries. And I look at every day as, somebody gifted me this day, this moment. I get to go to work. I get to talk to Freddie Fox. I get to go on this podcast. I get to write a book. I get to do this, and this. Not I have to. Oh, I have to go to work. No. You get to. And COVID proved that. Having a job's a luxury. Being able to create and help others and have a podcast is a luxury. Being able to go to the gym, it's a luxury. If you don't need it to live, it's a luxury. So I get to. You got to try. You got to really try to be happy. You don't got to try to be sad or upset or...
Right.
So it's there's no effort there. But if you try to be happy and you put that energy out there and, you get to. I'm here. I get to be here on a Saturday night. Not I have to.
And you know what? All those things you're just stating is it seems like you understand what it means to be grateful and have gratitude and really live with gratitude. And that is one of the most important things and things that, like, we majority of people lack. They don't know how to be grateful for things, and appreciate the things that they have. They're always looking for more, and not being appreciative for the now. And that's like we said, like I said in another podcast before, like what say things that made Kobe Bryant great and that made Michael Jordan great is that they knew how to live in the moment, in the now, appreciate every moment, be grateful for every single moment that they have. So just like you do, like I know you're like writing in your books about the mistakes you made in the day and stuff like that. I give it up to my wife. Well, my wife started with my daughter. We do it now every single night as she learned, since the moment she learned to speak and really articulate sentences, is before she goes to bed, is we tell her, listen, okay, so what are you grateful for today? Just tell us what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, I was grateful that, I went to school today, and I was grateful that I had my swimming classes, and I was grateful that I saw my cousin, and I was, things that, we need to understand and be appreciative for. And it's so amazing how that translate into her life. Like, over the summer, right, we surprised her. We were going to go, we went to a Mystic, right, the beach. And, we get in this car, drive, we're going over. And as we're pulling up, and, my daughter sees it, and she's like, oh, we're going to the beach? I'm like, yeah, we're at the beach. And she's like, oh, Daddy, Mommy, I appreciate it so much. She's 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's 5.
Yeah.
But she's like, I appreciate it so much. I'm so thankful that you brought me here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just one of those things like that as parents, and you'll find out one day, man, it is you always question what you're doing. You're always worried if you're doing the right thing. And it's moments like that it's like, you're doing good,
I got
bro.
it, yeah.
You're doing all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and my wife, we look at each other and we're just like, we got this parenting thing. You know what I mean? Like, we got this, you know? So it's amazing that you also too just so early on right now, especially being in your early 20s and understanding what it is to be grateful, and look at how much you've been able to accomplish, and you've got so much more left, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
I appreciate it.
What you turn out to be, man. It is very, very exciting to see the rest of your journey, man, and I know that this is not going to be the end of it. Like I said, we share this podcast studio here, and we're definitely going to be in more in contact and stuff. But I definitely look forward to seeing you grow and develop, man, and seeing where this takes you. So as we're winding down, man, I got 2 last questions for you, right? So my very, very first question before we end here is, what has been the best advice you've ever received so far?
Make time, not excuses.
That is a beautiful one. That is a beautiful one. And like we were talking about before the show, and that's why I think it's so important. For the most part, man, moms are there. They're always gonna be there. There's that loving nature and stuff, and it's a lot easier for I guess guys, or we'll refer to them as boys, to disappear. It takes a man to really be there and own up and face it every single day, because it is hard raising kids. It is very hard trying to figure out, because there isn't a book that can tell you how to raise every single kid, because everyone is different.
Yeah.
They're all unique.
It's nice that way. It'd be boring if we were.
Exactly. I mean, perfect example, which I want to get into that too. I want to dial back, because I've always been intrigued by twins. I always wanted to have a twin brother, just to have somebody there that is just constantly in our lives. And you and your brother, of course, have been together your entire lives and seen a lot of the same things and been through a lot of the same experiences.
Yes.
But I can pretty much guarantee you guys are still 2 different people.
Opposites, actually. Like, he, academically smartest person I know, right? Really major props to him. Like, doing it, knows what he wants to do. He's doing it. Made dean's lists all through college. Like, he's really he inspires me in a lot of ways and does things that I wish I could, for sure. But the cool thing is you can go through the exact same thing. I got 2 lenses right here. They're different than the lenses he has. Right. So everything's seen and experienced different for him, even though we went through the same thing.
Right. And I guess there's a perfect example back to like what you said, and I'm hopefully I'm not mistaken. It's like as a whole father son breakfast thing. You know,
Yeah.
you were very emotional about it and seeing that, and was actively looking at the room and seeing that you didn't have a dad there,
Yeah.
and how much that affected you. But it didn't seem to like register with him, or
It registered. I think we all cope with things like that differently. You know, um, today I can tell we're very close to our father now because his father left him. So we have that. Like, we bond and we understand it, and he's grateful as well. It's everything is through a different lens, and we all operate and think differently, right? So what's cool is we always have every night I make time, we walk. We walk through our neighborhood to the next neighborhood and back, and we just catch up. What's going on in your life? What's going on in mine? Who'd you talk to today? What'd you learn? Or who did I talk to today? What did I learn? You know, and I've had guests come in here and like, wow, you're really doing it. You know? It's like, no, you're you're doing what you're supposed to. You're doing your purpose.
right? Yes,
I'm proud of you. But, you know, you're in a studio. You're in an office. You're doing what you need to. But you're Dylan. You still come home. You still mess around with me. We still play video games together. We still go on walks. It's not, you're Dylan. Like, to him, it's like, no. Like, I don't expect anything less. He goes, I said, Dan, are you not shocked about, like, I'm a published creator on everything, and I'm doing a podcast, I'm working with celebrities and motivational speakers and writing a book and turning an internship into a career? He's like, no, I'd be surprised if you didn't. I would be surprised if you didn't because of who you are. And I was like, wow.
It's got to make you feel amazing now.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, man, and it's. And I refer to this quote because I just love it. I'm a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. I mean, I've watched that constantly, and I've said it last time too. It's just the biggest quote is like, it's always good to believe in oneself. A little help from other is a true blessing. You know, so yeah, you know, we can big ourselves up and promote ourselves as much as we can. But especially when somebody that we care about and that we love and we trust and really have meaning for that person, believes in us and really gives us that motivation, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like
nothing.
it. So thank you for that. And like you said, just making time and like that lesson, you know, don't make excuses, make time. Is a beautiful piece of advice. Now for you, being where you are now and stuff like that, and looking at a younger you or your people who are coming up behind us, or like I said, if you're going to talk to your school and stuff, what is a piece of advice you would want them to take from you?
It doesn't matter. I'm so mad at myself. I wanted to do this kind of stuff. I didn't. I was so afraid of kids in school making fun of me. I was so afraid of them being, oh, dude, it's dyslexia, and making it bad, like making it not a good thing, and me just stopping and then not doing anything after school. Oh, I'll get made fun of. I'm upset that I let that happen. I really am. But the minute I stepped out, I'm doing it. I won't see him again. So, I mean, I have this quote here. No one can destroy an iron, but its own rust can. Likewise, no one can destroy a person, but its own mindset can. Mm-hmm. So I let other people control what I wanted to do. The minute I got out, no, I'm doing this. And people who I thought weren't watching were watching.
Yeah. And a very powerful quote that I've listened, that I've heard and read time and time again is that like they say, you'll only be criticized by people who are doing less than you, not by people who are doing more. You know, so we can't take that to heart. You know, people want to take down what they can't be or they can't achieve or their own insecurities. If somebody is I'm sure there's somebody out there who wish they could do a podcast or wants to do a podcast, but they're too scared or just not ready for it. So it's a lot easier to try to take you down, than to face their own insecurities and their own fears. And you're not gonna get anywhere in life if you really. And I've learned that hard over these last couple of years, man, is to sit down, look at your insecurities, look at your fears, anything that scares you, and take that shit head on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just tackle it head on and as aggressive. And yeah, it's terrifying, and it'll drive you crazy sometimes. Like I said one time, you know, a man's quest to enlightenment can drive him to insanity. You know, because you constantly have to face all the things you don't want to, the things that you try to hide or cover up or to avoid. But it's only in attacking those things and really, really taking them head on is that you will be successful and really become a much better you.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to do those things. So, you know, thank you again for being here on the show.
Of
Now,
course.
I know likely we were talking about it and stuff, and as far as my drip and the fab thing, so I got a little something for you right here.
Oh.
I got you a fab.
Awesome.
Fab
Thank you.
T-shirt there for you. Check that out. Limited edition. Nobody has those colors. You are the
this
only
looks
one with
awesome.
those colors.
Thank you.
So enjoy that. And something too, I want to get back to everybody, all my past guests that are here, man. And I'm certain that I'm gonna get back to you guys, and I'm gonna get you all some fab shirts as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that we stay with the drip, and any future guests too, y'all gonna get a fab shirt as well, because we gotta keep promoting what I'm trying to do and who I am. And that's just the goal. Like I said, I'm Fab, Freddie Fox, America's big brother. And on that note, everybody, like I always say, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, your big brother loves you. Stay blessed, everybody.